There is something alive inside of him. Something that your fucking book doesn't talk about. He is changing.
No! No, get out!
The year is 2048, and Earth is a shadow of its former self. Human activity has drained the planet's natural resources to the brink, leaving behind a barren world where what's left sparks constant global conflict. Countries, desperate to survive, now wage war over even the smallest scraps. Far out in the Atlantic, a convoy of vehicles cuts through the ocean mist, approaching what looks like an ordinary NATO base. But appearances are deceiving. This is no simple military outpost. It's a self-contained paradise, complete with sprawling homes, shops, entertainment centers, and every luxury imaginable. One of the vehicles comes to a halt, and out steps Rick, alongside his wife Dr. Abigail and their son Lucas. They're welcomed by Freya, who escorts them into a stunning mansion, telling them it's theirs now. As the family takes in their new surroundings, young Lucas looks toward the sky and wonders where they'll go next. Rick answers without words, just a finger pointing upward, toward the cosmos. Around them, other families arrive and settle into similar lavish homes. In total, 13 households have been relocated here. But this isn't a safe haven. It's the front line of a radical mission. Each family was chosen with precision for a scientific endeavor, unlike any before. Humanity's first leap toward colonizing Titan, the largest of Saturn's moons. With Earth falling deeper into chaos and environmental ruin, scientists have been forced to think beyond the planet itself. Titan offers potential, but not without complications. Its atmosphere is thick with nitrogen, temperatures plunge to life-threatening lows, and methane rains fall from the sky. Survival there, for a normal human, is impossible. Yet Professor Martin believes there's a path forward. The solution, he argues, isn't to change Titan, but to change humans. At dawn, Martin visits Rick and Abigail in person. The couple is excited and grateful, but Martin quickly grounds the mood with a dose of truth.
I know how much this means to you, Rick. But pioneering isn't without its risks.
The journey ahead is dangerous. Still, he sees promise in Rick and believes he might become something extraordinary. Later, at a high-level NATO assembly, Martin shares a grim forecast. In just 10 years, half the Earth could be unlivable. In 15, starvation could claim billions. He fears today's children may be the last generation to walk the Earth as we know it. But there's still a slim chance to avoid extinction. If they can adapt to Titan, humanity might survive. From a global pool of 5,000 candidates across 16 nations, only these 13 families were chosen. The mission will involve transforming their biology, reprogramming their bodies to breathe nitrogen, tolerate bone-chilling cold, and survive Titan's hostile surface. Their organs, muscles, and even size will evolve in ways no one has seen before. When another scientist challenges Martin on the risks, he doesn't sugarcoat it. There will be casualties. Not everyone will make it through. Still, Rick and the others press forward, not for themselves, but for the future of mankind. Each participant is fitted with a CAT device to track vital stats around the clock. Then, the real work begins. Dr. Shreya administers a powerful injection that starts the transformation process, measuring key functions like blood pressure and electrolyte levels. It's the first of hundreds. Participants will need up to 300 shots per week. These injections aim to rewire their lungs, so they can one day breathe Titan's toxic air. That evening, the mood shifts. A grand party is held, a last celebration before the experiments begin. Families laugh, dance, and savor their final taste of normalcy. Dr. Abigail drinks a little too much, and Rick, ever watchful, helps her back to their room. But something's wrong. He starts coughing violently. Abigail checks his temperature. It's high. She gives him medication and helps him rest, clearly worried. The following day brings one of the first major challenges. Participants are tested for how long they can hold their breath underwater, simulating the oxygen-deprived conditions of Titan. Most can't endure for long, but Rick and a young woman named Tally last the longest. When Tally finally surfaces, the room erupts in relief and pride. The adaptation might actually be working, but Rick doesn't come up. Time drags, alarms sound, His vitals begin to drop and panic spreads across the lab. Just then, Rick suddenly shows rapid improvement in the tank. He emerges from the water and everyone erupts in applause. Rick had just survived underwater for a jaw-dropping 42 minutes. That evening, the atmosphere at home is warm. Rick shares a quiet moment with his son, Lucas, telling him stories about Titan's brutal environment: icy storms, thick nitrogen air, and methane rains. Lucas listens with wide eyes, excited that his father might one day walk on a whole different world. After Lucas drifts off to sleep, Rick and Abigail head out for a late-night swim. In the soft glow of pool lights, Abigail catches something odd: thick, raised veins pulsing along Rick's back. She doesn't say anything, but the sight lingers in her mind. It's clear his body is beginning to shift in ways no one fully understands. The following morning brings a new procedure for Rick, a surgical step in the transformation process. As he's prepped, Abigail meets Ryan, the partner of another volunteer. Ryan quietly confesses she never supported her husband's decision to join the mission. He went ahead anyway, chasing hope. After surgery, Rick returns home, appearing fine. The latest lab reports indicate that all participants are showing stable signs. But as night falls, something changes. Abigail wakes to find Rick gone. She finds him in the kitchen, desperately pressing ice against his skin. He says he felt like his body was burning up while he slept. To help, she fills a bucket with ice water. Rick submerges his hands without flinching. When Abigail tries, she yanks her hands out instantly. The cold is unbearable. Rick, however, feels nothing. The transformation is no longer theoretical. It's happening. Training intensifies. In one session, the participants are asked to swim through a pool filled with methane-like fluid, mimicking Titan's conditions. Later, they're sent outside, wearing special masks, and made to run laps while breathing a mixture of nitrogen and methane. The goal: reshape their lungs for Titan's alien atmosphere. Days pass with more tests, more stress, and then the side effects begin. In the locker room, Rick notices strands of his hair coming loose. Tally sees it too. One by one, the others start noticing changes: hair loss, skin reactions. The process is starting to erode their human traits. Then, the unthinkable happens. One woman collapses, violently vomiting a strange blue substance. Medical teams rush in, but it's too late. She dies right there. Dr. Shreya arrives quickly, but there's nothing she can do. The group is rattled. Until now, the risks were theoretical. Now, they're terrifyingly real. Later, a gathering forms at Rick's home. The families sit in silence, discussing what's happening to their bodies and their minds. During the conversation, Abigail catches a glimpse of Rick's veins again. They glow faintly, then disappear. Before anyone can react, chaos erupts outside. By the pool, Ryan's husband suddenly lashes out. He's violent, disoriented, and clearly unstable. It takes several people to restrain him. The damage to his brain is clear. Whatever is happening to their bodies is also affecting their minds. The next day, Dr. Freya reveals that the woman who died had a hidden medical issue: kidney stones. The experimental drugs had amplified it, leading to her sudden death. That night, the symptoms spread. Rick begins vomiting blue fluid, just like the woman before. Abigail, now extremely worried, collects a sample for analysis. As she closes the door, she notices the porch lights flickering. Someone, or something, is monitoring them. She finds Rick at the pool again, and this time, his skin is flaking off. Horrified, she secretly takes a sample to test. The results show chemical compounds never disclosed in any official briefings. Meanwhile, Rick's senses are changing too. His night vision has intensified, a likely side effect of the surgery. But the changes come with a cost. One night, blue fluid begins to leak from his eyes as he sleeps. He's rushed to the lab for emergency care. That's the final straw for Abigail. She confronts Professor Martin, accusing him of hiding crucial information and demanding answers about the security cameras positioned around their homes. Martin claims the surveillance is for their protection, but refuses to explain further. Abigail is dismissed and sent back home. As she returns, military trucks roll in and stop at Ryan's residence. Curious, she follows. But before she can get close, a soldier blocks her way. Through the window, she sees something horrifying. Ryan is thrown from the upper floor. Ryan's husband had lost all grip on reality. The experiment had pushed him over the edge, turning him into something violent and uncontrollable. In a horrifying turn, he ended up killing Ryan. When the military arrives, they're left with no choice. They put him down as well. Haunted by what she's seen, Abigail sneaks back into the facility that night. Determined to uncover the truth, she digs through the confidential medical files. What she finds leaves her stunned. The volunteer who supposedly died from kidney stones. She never had any. The truth has been hidden. Meanwhile, the project's lead scientist is in hot water. During a tense meeting with NASA officials, he's accused of pushing forward without approval or ethical safeguards. His ambitious post-evolutionary expansion plan is under threat of being permanently shut down. The next morning, the professor visits Rick. He admits that even now, they don't fully understand how these changes are unfolding. But there's no stopping it. Humans aren't just adapting anymore. They're becoming something entirely new. A new species, Homo titanus. Each person evolves in their own way, which makes outcomes unpredictable. Rick later removes a protective wrap from his eyes and blinks. Amazingly, he can now see in complete darkness. His vision has changed, one more step toward becoming something beyond human. Soon, another round of surgeries takes place. Tragically, only Rick and Tally survive. The rest don't make it. The burden of humanity's future now falls solely on these two. After the procedure, Abigail is called back. What she sees takes her breath away. Rick is no longer the man she once knew. His form has changed entirely. Yet, when he looks at her, there's recognition in his eyes. Despite everything, a part of him still remembers who he was. Rick and Tally are now fully evolved. Though they no longer speak in human language, they can understand it. They communicate in deep, low-frequency sounds far beyond the range of normal hearing. Later that night, Rick returns home. But things go wrong. He accidentally hurts Abigail. She starts to fear what he's becoming. Then, Tally appears and confesses a dark secret. She had killed her husband. Before anything else can happen, soldiers storm in to arrest her. She resists, and they shoot her on the spot. They try to take Rick too, but he fights back and wipes them out with his newfound strength. Abigail arrives just in time to witness the aftermath. Shocked and afraid, she runs. The military, ignoring the professor's pleas, issues a kill order on Rick. He escapes into the wilderness. Eventually, soldiers catch up to him, but something unexpected happens. Rick touches Abigail's hand and suddenly reads her thoughts. He sees her intentions. She's not here to hurt him, she's here to help. A silent moment passes between them. They share a kiss. But before they can escape, a containment team arrives. Rick is seized and taken away. Now he's trapped inside a reinforced chamber, prepared for launch. But there's a problem. Rick's deep emotional bond with Abigail and Lucas is disrupting the final phase. To send him to Titan, they must erase his memories. The professor gives Abigail a chemical compound to inject into Rick, one that will wipe his mind completely. Abigail approaches the chamber. Rick looks at her, begging with his eyes. He doesn't want to forget. She raises the syringe and slowly injects him. Or so it seems. Once outside the room, it's revealed. She never gave him the shot. Rick had only pretended to lose consciousness. When a soldier steps into the chamber, Rick takes him down and escapes. He rushes to reunite with Abigail and Lucas in a hidden lab. But their time is short. Soldiers arrive, and Rick is captured again. This time, the professor is honest. Rick will never return to the way he was. There's only one option left: send him to Titan. It's the only place he can now survive. And so, with heavy hearts, Abigail and Lucas say goodbye. For Rick, and for the future of what humanity might become, they let him go. In the final scenes, Rick is transported to his new world, his body sealed inside a protective pod. Months pass. The professor is arrested, held accountable for the lives lost and the rules broken. Meanwhile, Abigail and Dr. Shreya take charge of the Titan project, determined to rebuild it with care and conscience. One night, Lucas leads his mother outside. He points to the stars. Somewhere out there, his father is waiting. And on the distant moon of Titan, we finally see Rick, his transformed body standing tall atop a rocky cliff. The harsh winds swirl around him. Then, with strength and grace, he spreads his wide alien arms and lifts off into the sky.